Every summer, millions of British people pack their bags, load up the car, and head to the seaside. Not to the Mediterranean or somewhere guaranteed to be warm, but to the British seaside, where it will almost certainly rain. Today, we're looking at the British seaside holiday, one of the most beloved and wonderfully imperfect traditions in the country. Donkey rides, fish and chips, cheeky postcards, and a 99 flake ice cream eaten in the wind. There's also a challenging C1 level dictation at the end, packed with descriptive vocabulary. The dictation starts around the 8-minute mark if you want to skip straight to it. Pen and paper ready. So go and get a cup of tea, get yourself comfortable, and let's get started. We know we've got shit weather. We know the sea is grey. We know it's going to rain every single day, but we don't care. We will sit there with our ice creams, with sand blowing onto it, the children shivering in the water, and eating fish and chips with seagulls stealing everything. We don't care because we are British and that is how we survive. So if you're not from Britain, you might wonder why we get so excited about our rather grey and often drizzly coastal towns. But the British seaside holiday is not just about the weather. It's about tradition, character, and a peculiar sort of magic that has been drawing families for generations. Imagine this. An old wooden pier stretching out into the choppy seas. The gentle clip-clop of donkeys carrying giggling children along the sand. The irresistible aroma of fish and chips wrapped in newspaper. And the cheerful chaos of seaside amusement arcades filled with penny slot machines. Add to this the famous 99 flake ice cream. That's a vanilla ice cream with a chocolate stick poking out. Some rude postcards to make your grandmother blush, and you've got the essence of a British seaside experience. Okay, these holidays are not about luxury. They're about simple pleasures, family time, and a kind of organized chaos that somehow works perfectly. And today's dictation is going to capture all of this seaside spirit. But before we start, I want to take you through a guide to British seaside holidays. Okay? Firstly, a brief history of British seaside resorts, how it all began. Now, this is Blackpool, and I used to spend all of my childhood summers in Blackpool, in the north of England, where my grandparents used to live, and this is Blackpool Tower. Now, this is not when I was a kid, okay, guys? I know there's horses and carts. This is the Victorian times, okay? I went there shortly afterwards. But the Victorian era transformed Britain's coast. Railways made seaside towns accessible to working families. There was also the introduction of the weekend and the 5-day working week. So people had more time and they wanted to get away from work, get away from the cities and go and breathe in some fresh air in places like Brighton, Blackpool and Margate. Now these are what we call piers. If you've been to Brighton and Bournemouth, wonderful, then you will have seen that there are these structures that go out to sea. It's like a bridge that takes you nowhere. Fantastic metaphor for Britain. But yeah, it just stops in the middle of the sea, tempting you to just jump in and end it all. But it's more than just a little promenade. It's more than just a walkway. British piers were not just for strolling, for walking. They also had theatres. British piers had dance halls, amusement arcades, and it was the place where everybody would gather to enjoy themselves when they were not on the actual beach. What else do we have? Well, donkey rides. This has always been a tradition. I used to enjoy that as a child. Now, in the past, it was pretty bad for the donkeys. Okay. But nowadays, there is a lot of animal welfare standards. The donkeys are looked after very, very well, and they are strictly regulated. Okay. There are fewer than there used to be, but they are looked after much, much better than once upon a time. The 99 Flake, this is the ice cream we're talking about. Now, I know the Italians are going to go, ma cos'è? Ma che stiamo scherzando? But this is actually a very, very tasty ice cream. Now, it's not your typical gelato. I know that. And I know it's made with probably powdered milk or something. But it's actually quite nice. And it's a lovely soft vanilla with a 99 flake. This is what this Cadbury's 99 flakes stuck inside it and in a cone. And this is what people say go to the ice cream man, and the ice cream man goes around in a van and it plays music. And children can hear it and they go running into the street and get knocked over. But yeah, this is what happens. And then they'll say, oh, 2.99s, please. Now, they certainly do not cost 99p. God knows what they cost nowadays. Fish and chips. We've talked about this until the cows come home, but this is also something very traditional. Uh, you can eat them in a restaurant, but go and buy them in a newspaper, okay, or some greaseproof paper. Take them down to the beach. Watch out for the seagulls because the seagulls will attack you. They will take the fish and chips out of your hands as you put them in your mouth. It's true. It's true. They are very dangerous and they love fish and chips, but it's all part of the fun. We use wooden forks. They give you these wooden forks, not because they're biodegradable, but because they're cheaper. And salt and vinegar. That's all you need, salt and vinegar. Another thing which is very British, although probably you don't see them so much these days, are rude postcards. Now, I say rude, they used to be cheeky, let's just say. And they were very traditional. You would buy them and send them to somebody, and they had dirty old men looking at young women, usually with their wife or something. And it was a typical kind of 1970s, 1980s British humour. Benny Hill. Guys, we gave you Benny Hill. Please don't expect any more from us than this. Okay, here you are. Pop inside and get some of those dark sunglasses. I wonder why he wants them. So I think his wife is saying to him, yeah, go in and get some. So at least it's not obvious that you're looking at her. So yeah, this was all very, very famous with innuendo, double meanings, not offensive, but a little bit risque. Okay, guys, go and get your pen and paper because we're going to do 100-word dictation. This is at C1 level, so there's some challenging vocabulary in today's dictation. As always, I'm going to read a short dictation to you, 100 words. I'm going to read everything twice so that you have an opportunity to write. And I will read everything again at the end and then show you the text. Let's do it. The weathered pier groaned under the weight excuse me. The weathered pier groaned under the weight of countless holidaymakers. Of countless holidaymakers, comma. Its Victorian ironwork It's Victorian ironwork, defying another battering. Defying another battering from the relentless North Sea. From the relentless North Sea. Waves. Full stop. Children's shrieks of delight. Children's shrieks of delight. Mingled with the mechanical whirring. Mingled with the mechanical whirring of arcade machines. Comma, of arcade machines, comma. Have some more fizzy water. Ugh. Um, while the ubiquitous aroma while the ubiquitous aroma of vinegar doused chips competed with the briny tang competed with the briny tang of seaweed. Competed with the briny tang of seaweed. Full stop. A donkey, comma, looking rather world weary, comma. A donkey, comma, looking rather world weary, comma, plodded along the promenade, plodded along the promenade, carrying its precious cargo of excited youngsters. Carrying its precious cargo of excited youngsters like me. Full stop. Meanwhile, comma, cheeky postcard vendors meanwhile, comma, cheeky postcard vendors peddled their risque wares peddled their risque wares to snickering tourists. To snickering tourists. And ice cream sellers rang their bells. And ice cream sellers rang their bells triumphantly. comma, promising that perfect 99 flake. Promising that perfect 99 flake to cap off another. To cap off another quintessentially British seaside adventure. To cap off another quintessentially British seaside adventure. Finished. Yeah, a bit more tricky this one. There's some tricky vocabulary. Um, so as I say, I like to vary. Sometimes it's B2, sometimes it's C1, sometimes C2. This is pretty strong C1 in places, okay, especially because of some of the vocabulary. Anyway, I'm going to read it again, okay, and then I'll show you the text. So listen carefully and fill in any words which you didn't hear. I also would say, take a guess if you're not sure. Just write what you think you say, because by doing that, even if you're wrong, you start to make an association between the spoken word and the written word, whether it be correct or incorrect. It's a bit more interactive. So listen. The weathered pier groaned under the weight of countless holidaymakers, its Victorian ironwork defying another battering from the relentless North Sea waves. Children's shrieks of delight mingled with the mechanical whirring of arcade machines, while the ubiquitous aroma of vinegar-doused chips competed with the briny tang of seaweed. A donkey, looking rather world-weary, plodded along the promenade, carrying its precious cargo of exciting youngsters. Meanwhile, cheeky postcard vendors peddled their risque wares to snickering tourists, and ice cream sellers rang their bells triumphantly, promising that perfect 99 flake to cap off another quintessentially British seaside adventure. Okay, that is your dictation. I'm going to show you the words now so that you can check what you wrote. Hopefully you can see that. So have a quick look and tell me how you got on. So thank you very much, guys, for being here today. Don't worry if you found this difficult. It wasn't easy. Look forward to seeing you all again during the week. Take care and thank you very much for your time. Goodbye.